how's it going, everybody? Uncle Ron, Brother Ron here. Again, we're talking to Auntie Gloria Nahalea and Uncle Bill Nahalea up there in Battleground, Washington. And we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about today, Auntie?
Actually, we're going to talk about milestones of recovery for Bill. And because in the last 3 days, we have, Bill's actually been walking a mile with his cane and no assist from his wheelchair. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that because from 6 years ago when he first had his stroke, when he was flat on his back and was intubated, we went from there, and every year there's been some milestones. And I just wanted to kind of share that because I think people need to hear, these folks need to hear, especially stroke survivors, that there are different milestones. At the time that you're there, it might not seem like it, and the progress could be slow, but we've got each year, first year, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and this is the sixth year, and Bill's just improved so much.
Yeah, I seen that with my own eyes. This Uncle Bill in the background. Hey, Uncle Bill.
Hey,
how's it,
brother? I'm sorry, I swallowing food.
Hey, stay cow.
Yeah.
Well, it's our usual picnic lunch.
I have one cheese stuck in my throat.
Local style, just gotta grind. So what are you guys eating today, Auntie? What's your picnic like?
Today, our picnic, we've got some of this bagel bites and some cheddar cheese. The hummus with some wheat thins. Okay. And of course, we're washing it down with lilikor lychee and mango orange.
Oh, you guys eating Hawaiian Sun. Okay. You got some fructose in there, huh? That's okay. Oh, yeah. No problem.
Yeah. It's okay.
So did you guys go to that place you guys took me in that, what's that? It was like a mini Whole Foods. What was that place? Remember?
The pass?
That store that when you picked me up in March, and you guys had that kitchen over there, remember? Deborah took us there when you guys picked me up from the airport.
Oh, that little
that place.
Oh, what was that called? It was a big grocery store.
Yeah, it was like a Trader Joe's or something. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Did you guys get it from there?
No.
Oh, okay.
We've been okay, another thing that we've been doing as retired folks, we've become very, very frugal, very paquet.
Yeah.
So we shop on some specials and all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Well, you have to these
days.
And
on certain days, Ron, guess what? A lot of the grocery stores, they honor senior discounts.
Well, that's good that they do that.
Days.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they give you maybe 10% off, or sometimes, and on those days, sometimes they have like $5 days where you can buy a bunch of stuff that's just for $5. Okay, for example, at one of the stores, they were having 3 18-count eggs for $5.
Pretty good deal.
That's a really good deal. So it's things like that. They had this Tillamook cheese, a block of it, for $5.99 for a 2-pounder. And that's what we're having.
Nowadays the food's so expensive everywhere, pretty much. So you gotta shop like that. Almost everybody's shopping like that. Yeah.
You gotta.
But that's good picnic food, I think, that you guys got.
We decided that because we at the end of this path we've been going, it's one of our favorites. You're actually sitting out here in the woods and you can hear all the birds. They're singing and they're kind of talking to one another. You'll see some bunnies running around here, and right now we're being sprinkled and showered with these little tufts of cotton. It looks like on the pathway, it looks like it's snow.
Really?
But it's really just that. Yeah, it's just that cotton, and it's filtering down. So for us, we find this little place. It's a place that Bill can go. We can measure it. It's a mile in. Total of a mile this path. Half a mile up and half a mile back. and it's been really good. The roads wind and there's trees and just very peaceful. We talk and he's letting me know what he's been doing and how he's feeling. The third day, his leg is feeling a little bit more crampy. It wasn't as yesterday. It was just really fluid, no problem, no issues. And today he's still doing good, but he can tell that he's had 3 days in a row of walking.
Yeah.
That's good therapy. That's good therapy.
Yeah, I think the people that are caregivers and stroke survivors, because I know some here on Maui that refuse to do the physical therapy. So let the listeners know, Auntie, how important it is to do the physical therapies.
Very.
It's very important. Bill, why don't you share about what it's like with your pain and why that might prevent you from doing, and so you can see how people might not want to because they're having to endure the pain, yet they know that they should do it.
Right. I think that's why people in general they hesitate because the pain is intense, and you have to put in your mind that your pain doesn't exist, but it's always there. Like for me, on my hand, because the whole right hand, the whole side is because I paralyzed it. But the hand is like the pain is like putting your hand in a whole pot of hot water, and you have it there every single day. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting.
Yeah, but you know what? I had this stroke for about 6 years already, and only a year and a half now that my nerves been kind of reconnecting, and my previous doctor, when I used to do my therapies in Port Orchard, they would tell me that right now you have numbness, you don't feel the pain, but if you keep on doing therapies and you do your own therapy, the nerves can reconnect. And they was right. It's reconnecting so much that it's pretty painful. But I never let pain overtake my will to get better.
Right.
So I do the workouts regardless of the pain. But for me, I think some people maybe do it. I don't know. But I take these natural herbal gummy bears, kind of like I take that at night to ease my pain. Yes.
Right.
And there is, I'm really against taking any kind of painkillers because I don't want to. Because people tend to get addicted. I'm not saying I would, but I don't. But I make an exception because my new doctor, recommended this new pill that is more like a time release. It works only when I'm sleeping. Then it works in my body, and when I'm able to sleep because of this pain tablet. But I think people in general, if they try, they can get better. But I think you got to have the will, and I think that it lacks. No offense to some people, but I think it lack that is to try.
So what I wanted to share on that from my observations as a caregiver, Ron, is it's a different thing for the stroke survivor to have to will himself. And I watch Bill doing that. He puts on those CBD creams that helps to alleviate some
Yeah.
some of the pain on the arms.
Yeah.
And then he wears a compression, like a compression tube on his arms,
On my arm.
so that it can help. But I mean, there's times where I'll touch him on his arm by accident, and he's like, "Oh wow!" And so I have to be very careful with that. But I'm really proud of the fact that Bill will overcome or manage to power through his pain. And you don't see it when he's walking. You don't see it when he's doing his exercises or even that kind of stuff. But you know he's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
So as a caregiver, I can't understand the pain level that he's at.
Yeah.
But all I can do is encourage him, and when he can and wants to, then yeah, cool. We'll go ahead and do as much as he can that he can withstand. So because we're reward kind of people, if he does certain things, he gets rewards.
Like Scooby-Doo, he gets a Scooby snack.
It's a Scooby
Yeah.
snack.
You know what, brother? I gotta tell you this. I told my wife it was a couple of days ago. I said, if I will walk this path,
Yeah.
this path that we go on, and I said, all I want is Ken, and my wife makes a mean one. She made poke.
That's what I heard.
Oh, I heard. Wow. She made me poke with rice when I came back. She go, honey, I got a reward for you. I said, what's that? She go, poke. Oh, I said, all right. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
it was
yeah.
good, but
Well, I had that when I was
Missing.
there. That's Ozono.
yeah, only
Oh,
thing
yeah.
missing one.
It's Ogo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, how took it Ogo for you?
up there, yeah. I know the last time it came
Yeah.
up, I had to bring them up from, I stuck it in my
Yeah, you-
backpack. And it
Yeah.
lasted. It's amazing it lasted. But good for you
I know.
guys. You're eating Hawaiian style up there in Washington. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? I just wanted to touch on something because there's a lot of people over it. Because I've been telling my friends over here about Uncle Bill, and in fact, I saw the day like a couple years ago. Yeah, when he started to feel the sensation in his arm, and he said, "It feels like boiling water." So try and explain to the people, because I said, "Well, Uncle Bill is actually paralyzed one side," and they go, "Well, if he's somewhat paralyzed, how can he feel pain?" So how does that work, Auntie?
Okay, the pain is when the nerves have been, in Bill's case, he had as a hemiplegic and as a hemorrhagic stroke that he suffered.
Uh-huh.
He didn't have a clot in his brain, so it wasn't like an aneurysm.
Okay.
It was that his high blood pressure was so great that it wore the arteries thin.
Hmm.
And so his brain, his blood seeped into his brain.
Okay.
And created two brain bleeds. One of them was the size of about smaller than an egg,
Wow.
and the second one was about half that size.
Okay.
What that does in your brain is it damages the nerves, whatever is connecting your feeling, your touch, your arm moving, the connection of your sensations, the side of your face. There's all these on your skin. You can feel things. You can tell whether you've hurt yourself. You can tell whether you've burned yourself,
Right.
or if you're shaving, a cut on your face. So those are the sensations that are attached to your nerves. When you have those brain bleeds, it's almost like having an explosion in your brain, and all these nerves get detached.
Okay.
So when they begin to start to form its way so they can use the rest of the body, the nerves does have a way that it can reconnect, not in the same place, but they'll find different pathways to connect.
Right.
So those nerves, as they're reaching to reconnect, that's where the pain starts to happen.
Okay.
Because the nerve endings has not attached completely.
And
Okay.
in medical terms, they call that neuroplasticity, right? The brain is
Neuroplasticity is when like Bill has that with his right hand. Sometimes neuroplasticity is when it curls, the fingers curl up into a ball,
yeah.
or gets a little bit deformed. Okay, that's That's neuroplasticity, when he has no control over its moving. In fact, his first year, his right arm, he didn't have any control of it. So we would make a cup of coffee, and when he was sitting with me or on a table, his right hand would just go ahead and just move automatically. He has no control. And so the coffee might spill, or whatever foods that he's got that he's trying to reach for, he may not be able to, because it's just kind of moving on its own.
But by doing like all the, especially the what's that, occupational therapy. When I keep telling friends of mine what Uncle Bill went through, and he aced all his, like, when I was there, I says to my friends, imagine that you don't have any feeling in your right hand, like it's totally numb, and I'm telling you to pick up a golf ball and put it in a hole. I says, you know how hard that is, because when I was there, Melanie, right, the therapist, and she says, no, those guys push people hard, the stroke recovery patients. And I watch Uncle Bill, and he, even you said that he asked for extra therapy sessions. And that, I see what you mean by like how the brain starts to rewire or something, but you got to keep doing those exercises, right? Because you gotta, like, especially the affected side of your body, right? It can get better. It can get better.
In Bill's earliest days, when he first came home, and even when he was in the rehab hospital, they had him in a 5-week rehab hospital, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7, because his therapists all liked him and they wanted him to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they would give him extra times to do his therapy. But those 3 hours consisted of a speech therapy, because he also suffered with aphasia. So it was a speech hour, an hour for speech, an hour for occupational, and an hour for physical. The hour for occupational is where the patient learns how to live independently, how to feed themselves, how to shower, how to shave, how to comb their hair.
Yeah, the basic movements in life that you need to survive, right?
Exactly. The ability to be able to open the door, those things. Physical is where their bodies get a little bit stronger, and they're using it so that they could power through even more physical activity, like walking, running, driving, those kinds of things.
Hey, Auntie, touch on, I'm sorry to cut you off, but after you say what you got to say, I'm sorry, I always cut you off, but one thing I wanted to touch on was, it's really interesting when, after the stroke, you guys couldn't travel anymore, but Uncle Bill made it a point that, no, you guys are going to fly, but the doctor couldn't approve Uncle Bill flying because of what?
Because he had a hemorrhagic stroke. They were concerned about the pressure for the brain. And so when you're flying, the air pressures in an airplane,
right, and then
would affect him.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that they needed to make sure that he had the mobility, besides ability, to be able to walk down that path of the airplane.
Yeah.
And to be because when you have to go to the bathroom and whatever, otherwise you'd have to use other means to control that. So there was a lot of things that Bill may not have been able to do yet, and also comprehension-wise, with his aphasia and being able to understand taking on instructions. So there was a lot of, Bill had some limitations in that way.
Yeah, so what I was trying to get at is how both of you were determined to get him going, both mentally, physically, and getting that approval by the doctor, because every time I visited you guys, he always said, and you always said, one of these days we're gonna go back to the Big Island. Right? So some of you listening right now, Uncle Bill and Auntie Gloria is in the state of Washington in the Pacific Northwest. They're from the islands. So 2020, Uncle Bill suffered a stroke. He couldn't travel, couldn't fly. But what I was trying to get at is that his determination to overcome what he had to, mentally, physically, and all that, understanding, you fly again, there's pressure. You need to get through the aisles. And Auntie, can you touch on real quickly? Because when I was there, I went to the therapy sessions with you guys. There's two canes he was using. I believe one was the four-prong cane, and you're not allowed to use that in a plane or something. He had to get wired. I mean, he had to get used to the single cane, right, to maneuver. Is that correct?
He actually he was able to use the four-prong one, but the single cane one, what that actually does is that helps him, it transitions him to be able to walk without the four-prong. The four-prong one was to be able to stabilize him and to help push him off when he's walking.
Right.
The single one is more just to help with balance.
Interesting.
So in Bill's recovery, I mean, I learned a lot about this, but in Bill's recovery, I mean, he was completely immobile. I mean, he went from being hospital bound and not being able to, even sitting up, he could not just sit up. He didn't have the muscle core to hold him up. So if we were helping him put on his shoes, one hand had to be holding his body.
Right.
And the other hand needed to be able to help him put his shoes on or help him dress. So, because as soon as I let go of his body, he just kind of fall over, like, flop over from one side to the other. And so with him, he really was in a pretty bad state. And his whole body had to relearn all of those things, how to hold himself up, how to sit up, how to not fall forward. So he had to learn, even being aware around him, what he could do and what he could not do. There was a lot of thought processes of learning all those things that we take for granted now. It's taken us, all of our several decades to be able to have all of our functions. This is a miracle of the body. And in Bill's case, his motivation, I just thank the Lord that his motivation and his personality and his will was all still there. And because, we had talked about Bill's and my relationship, because we were a unique couple in that not only are we husband-wife, but we worked together and created our businesses together. We were entrepreneurs ourselves, and we were business owners. Mm-hmm. And when you are living with each other 24/7, you really get to understand the other person and their will and their personalities. Bill kept all of his fabulous personalities, his kindness. He's a big, gentle Hawaiian Kanaka, and also a very determined, him, he's very determined, very, very proud, and he's very willful. If he wants something, he's going to go for it. And so, and because I had mentioned that we're rewards kind of people, we actually had to do that. His first year, he got out of the rehab hospital at Thanksgiving. He went in mid-October, and he got out at Thanksgiving. And that's a whole different story. But he got out at Thanksgiving the following February, which was just several months later. One of our dearest friends lives over at the Ocean Shores, over by the Pacific Ocean side. And her birthday was coming up in February. Well, before then, I knew that he was not going to be able to travel with us, and I could hear in her voice she wanted to be able to see us. Right. And she invited us to come over. And, of course, I had said, shared what the state of condition that Bill was in. Uh-huh. And So Bill was still in a at that time when she invited us. I think that was like in beginning of January. She said, if there's any way that we can have you guys come over and stay with us, I've got your rooms all booked. We'd love to have you be there. Well, I'm looking at Bill. He's in a hospital bed. He's been using a commode, and we've been taking him to and from friends' houses and hotels that have ADA for him to be able to take showers. So now these represented an issue if we were going to travel over a 3-hour road trip and then be able to check into a hotel and be able to, for him to be able to sleep on a hotel bed. So, of course, it was like, well, I guess I'm going to go. Bill, I'll find you a caregiver to stay with you at home. That wasn't going to fly with Bill. He was like, no, I don't think so. I am going to go. You watch. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change and I'm going to do all this. Well, in that 5 weeks, he managed to move from his chair or his hospital bed onto a bed.
Uh-huh.
He managed to be able to make the walk up to the bathroom upstairs on the second floor to go use the commode or the bathroom.
Right.
And to be able to get in to take a shower. We got him a shower chair. He managed during that time as well to be able to sit in his wheelchair long enough so we can wheel him around so he could enjoy the trip. So all those things, that was the carrot we had in front of him.
I see you again today.
Hey, how are you? Well, good. We just had this lovely lady. She saw us yesterday while we were having a picnic.
Oh.
And so now she's come back and said, hey, I hope I see you.
I saw a glow and I'm going, oh, that's something I can
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. All right. Thank you.
Nice.
So-
Socializing. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. She and her husband came by yesterday.
Yeah.
We're having a picnic. I said, hey, come join us. No. Just other
It's all about
people,
making friends.
our neighbors. But so going back to Bill, what was really telling to me was the fact that he wasn't going to be the kind of survivor that was just going to sit back
Right.
and not enjoy life. We had that kind of marriage that since we did everything together, we traveled together, we did all those things. And he knows how much fun I have and how much fun we have when we're out on our little road trips and all these little adventures we go on our little journeys. So that was kind of dangling in front of him, and he really, really focused on that.
Right.
And we were able to go. We had a friend of ours. He brought his big car, and we loaded up everything, and we had made that trip over there. And it really was a wonderful trip, and it was telling to me that there was going to be a better quality of life as we continued to go through his recovery. We knew it was going to be slow. We knew that there was going to be a lot of challenges. We knew that there was going to be a lot of pain, and there was going to be, we were going to have some setbacks. But that one was a secondary milestone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like amazing. So to watch him go from there to be able to navigate on his own in the electric wheelchair and be able to get around, and I lose him. One of the places he loves to go is shopping at Costco or grocery shopping, because he can get into those other shopping carts.
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, he
He
takes
rips.
off.
Yeah.
You know?
He go get him, huh?
He rips. Yeah, I had to chase after
Yeah.
him.
He goes
you know?
gung ho.
He just goes.
Yeah, I want to add. I want to add to that shopping experience when I used to follow you guys. Now you guys mind, Uncle Bill has a paralyzed right side, okay, but he's so determined where he's on that electric buggy, the shopping cart at Costco, right, or wherever, maybe Walmart or whatever, and he'll grab 2 cases of water, right. And this is the determined Hawaiian warrior he is. I'm like, oh man, I gotta help him out, right? Yeah, Uncle Bill, I get him, bro. I get him. You know, because the wagon's big. You can fit a case or two in those wagons right in the front on the handle. He goes, I get him, bro. And I'm trying to help him. And again, you know, just like the story of I'm trying to help him down the flight of stairs and he's carrying all his laundry. He said, get away, bro. I get him. I get him. Just go. I get him. Go eat one hot dog or something. Go. I get him. You know, and Uncle Bill, he get him. You know, he's just determined.
He is so determined that one day I saw him going from the laundry room to his chair in the living room, dragging the laundry basket.
Yeah.
But he's walking. He's standing up. What he did was the cane, the handle part of the cane.
Yeah.
He hooked that onto the laundry basket and dragged it.
I seen that.
Walk. Yeah, you've seen that. Walk over to his chair and begin to fold things, and he's folding them with even with his deficit right side.
That's ingenuity and the will to do something. You know, Andy, again, you know, I just want to touch on the flight again, because I know there's the flying back to the Big Island to see family was a milestone, right? So can you touch on that just for inspiration, because the listeners got to know, like, if I know a lot of people, they'll go, you know, I had a stroke, I cannot fly, see my family, it's a done deal. Can you tell people what you guys went through, the time that you guys spent getting better so that the doctors would give you the green light to travel, and how did it feel? Was it like you guys won one championship or something? Because I know when you called me, you were stoked. You're like, hey, Ron, we're going to fly to the Big Island. I was like, oh, so happy for you guys. So can you share with the people out there how important that, getting the green light to fly, how was that?
That one was an epic moment, okay? There was some good, bad, and the ugly on this one. But the good was that, yes, he could fly. The airlines all we were able to bring our own wheelchair, our own electric wheelchair. And, of course, we had to decide on what kind of batteries they're going to accept, in whether it was going to be inside the cabin or down built underneath.
Right.
So we had to take care of all that kind of thing. They did not have, at least at our end and both ends, they didn't have, you know how they used to have the porters?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Back then, when you could have that could be an easy peasy thing. But they didn't have that. So we ended up we were dropped off, and he got loaded onto his wheelchair. And of course, we were fortunate that we had those suitcases on wheels, so we could take them out. I had to go get a wheelchair or luggage. We had to load that up, get it down to the ticket baggage. And in Seattle, at least, at that time, they were going through renovation, so they didn't have enough people to help you with baggage. You had to kind of bring it over to the baggage and load it up yourself, and then go to the ticket counter and get everything, squared away with that, and then go. So, but, you had to go through all that TSA check-ins and all of that kind of stuff. So for the survivor, he's going to have to go off to another side to go through the, when they do the X-ray machines and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for him, it was easy peasy for him to get over onto that side, but we also had to take off his watches and all that kind of stuff and cell phones into the containers. So as a caregiver, now not only do I have to take care of his, but I have to take care of mine, and then I have to keep keeping track of where the tickets are and all the things that belong to wherever. So that process was a bit of a zoo. We managed. We were able to get on the other side. We gave ourselves a lot more time to be able to go through that. I was grateful that the doctors had given us the A-OK. When they gave us the A-OK, I said, so are there any tips we need to know? They just looked at us and said, allow plenty of time.
That is an awesome story, Auntie, because if anyone's listening to this, being a caregiver, is not easy, especially when you got to travel. Because, real quickly, when my mom was older and she had to use a wheelchair, I was the only one that took my mom to like Vegas and stuff like that. Because my older brothers, they were busy and stuff like that. But I know like you gotta show up like early at the airport, and make sure she goes to the bathroom and everything like that. So I can imagine what you went through, like your multitasking brain, and and Uncle Bill's trying to get into the plane and all that, and how he's thinking, like he's all happy. So I bet you there's like all kinds of like so much stuff going on in you guys' mind when you guys was at the airport. But once you guys on the plane, it's easy. Yeah, I mean that plane takes off. You guys are happy. It's going. It's smooth sailing already, right?
Okay, so we get on the plane, and you were absolutely right. He's all strapped in, and I'm all strapped in. We're ready to go.
Like kids, all happy.
Now, this is the part that I'm going to say it's part of the ugly. Okay.
Oh no! Here you go. Here you go. What now?
We both took the aisle seats, and I did that so that I can reach over for when he wants to eat, and blah 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 blah. Oh, and then it's like traveling with children. You need to make sure you have enough snacks and your cell phones ready to be able to plug in, and chargers.
Right.
All the kind of things that you need to have to keep them occupied.
Reality. Yeah.
And fed and happy. Okay. So we're sitting on the ends, which is no problem. We can visit and talk. We're reaching across and chatting with one another. However, the inside seats, when folks have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, man.
The downside is the ADA survivor has to be able to stand up, unbuckle, stand up, and let them out, and then sit back down, and then get back up when they're ready to come back in.
I never thought about that. I mean, until you just told me. I mean, with your guys' trip. So how was that? You didn't tell me this one. So how did that work out?
Okay, going over, I think was a test of our patience, because we had two people that. They must have had weak bladders or something, but they had to get up and down so many times. Many times on the trip. It's a 5-hour trip.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Bill had to get up at least 12 times.
Wow.
So, yeah. Because not only could one go, could they both do it at the same time? No.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't do it both at the same time. So poor Bill.
Poor Uncle Bill.
By this time, he's fit to be tied. And so, trying to keep calm, giving him his little treats, his peanut butter Reese's, and, whatever I could give him to keep him happy.
Yeah.
Halfway through going, we're probably over the Pacific. Look at him. My patience had run really, really thin.
Oh,
and
boy.
so I leaned over to him and whispered in his ear, "Dear, enjoy this trip. This is going to be the very last time we ever go on a plane trip, ever, together. I just want to let you know that." And he looked at me like, what? I'm understanding what he's going through. I totally get it. But I was not understanding having to hear the complaints the entire time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's from a caregiver point of view. Not that we were not being tolerant about it. But humanity, I'm human.
Right.
And so my patience just wore. After I said that to him, of course, and he's like mulling it over in his head, thinking it over. And he chilled out, but he understood. It took him a minute to understand, but he did understand. So when we were coming back home on the plane and we returned back, he did lean over to me again and said, "So are we still going to be able to make another trip?"
He wants to make sure. Uncle Bill just wants to make sure he's going to fly again, man.
He wants to fly again. We will definitely go, because now that was in 24 that we went over.
That was 24? Wow. Time flew by.
Yeah, I think it was in 24, 25.
25?
Oh.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, because we went over for the Mary Monarch.
That's right.
And then also visit his brother. But once we got over there, it's just in reverse. Now we have to make sure we get all the gatherings of everything. And we were fortunate. We had friends that came and was able to pick us up and help us load up and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and we had a blast. And you know what, Ron? When we touched down and Bill was on the soil of Hawaii, I just saw a complete change in him and his demeanor. It was almost like it was, oh my God, I'm home. And when I saw that and how he just thoroughly enjoyed himself from the moment he touched down to the moment we got back on the plane coming home, watching him sitting on the lanai and in his surroundings and being able to just smell the air. We went to the beach. We did all those things that I thought he would not be able to do. He managed them all. We even went up to go see Madame Pele when there was the eruptions going on in the middle of the night. And so there was just a lot of really, really cool things that we did. And he saw and he watched and he just immersed himself into the whole experience. It was the best thing that could have ever happened to him. And I believe that just spurred his own deeper desire to get even better and get better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was all a testament to both of your will to travel. And in order to do that, to, go to his doctors, go to his PTs, OTs, and all that, right? Because if he didn't, you guys probably wouldn't have gone to the Big Island.
Nope. We wouldn't have been able to get to the Big Island till a longer time.
Yeah.
And we have learned over the 6 years, we have had to learn to pace ourselves, allow ourselves time to decompress, and also to allow ourselves to even be prepared to go. Mentally I had to walk him through mentally what it was going to look like on every single step along the way. Because remember, he had to learn everything.
Exactly.
And he'd forgotten, as with aphasia, he'd forgotten what it was like to be on a plane. He'd forgotten that you don't go on a plane ride and instead of going and checking in at the ticketing, you stop along the way and go to the, every single bathroom that needs to go to and every single Starbucks that we found.
I know you guys love Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah, our coffee, that's what we're all about. And then he's wanting to settle himself before we can check in. Well, no, we can't do that. We have to go and check in, and they need to make sure that we're close by so that we can get the early check-in, because we were the first ones to get on, but we were also the last ones to come off. But the airlines were fabulous. They had they were able to wheel him up to the place, to the gate, and then, or at least on the plane, and then he was able to get on there, and then they took away his wheelchair. And when we arrived, they had his wheelchair at the bottom of the of the steps when we deplaned. So there was just a whole lot of stuff that it's definitely doable. Definitely, your quality of travel does get adjusted, but it's definitely doable, and it's very much worth the entire trip. I would have to say, and I'm pretty sure that Bill might not feel the same way, but I feel that although Bill was the one that's in the body of being a stroke survivor, I think for both of us, our outlook on life, we don't take things for granted anymore. I think our times that we want to cherish with family and friends and living for the moment has been heightened. Our conversations that we have had, our marriage has deepened in plenty of places that you don't even think about really until you're in this situation of having to deal with what life can look like. And we're a couple that I think that as people have seen what Bill has posted on Facebook and what you've posted, we're living good.
Yeah.
We're living good.
You guys are doing good. Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are always looking for the good in life, and you always talk about, being happy, being positive. I mean, semi-retired, but you guys still have goals, and the goals are to travel and enjoy life. I mean, what better goal to have in life is to do that, I mean, you guys been through a lot. I've seen it, and it's not easy, So a lot of people, if you're listening, if you're a caregiver of any kind, and you have to do all the, I'm gonna say it because that's just reality. You got to do the dirty work and the clean work and everything in between. It wears on you mentally, psychologically, and physically. So if there's anybody out there that's a caregiver, pat yourself on the back, and you got to find a support system, right, Auntie? You got to have like some kind of support system. Would you agree on that when you're a caregiver?
Oh yeah. And yes, and the support really comes in many forms. Being that for Bill, I am his, he has to put his life in his own hands when I'm driving, because I haven't been doing a lot of driving since Bill has been in my life. He has taken on that role. And so when I have to start learning how to drive again, I get a little lead-footed. That's okay.
That's all right.
And there are, or I go the other way where people are honking at me like, get on the move here. What's going on? See, so then I love my number ones that people give me. It's okay. And
you thrive on that. Wow.
I thrive on it. I count how many times they tell me that. But Bill's ability to navigate, because since he was always a driver, it was always amazing that he'll say, "Hey, just go on to this place," and at that he'll look at landscapes, right, or landmarks. At that church, make a left or whatever he's telling me to do. Mm-hmm. Although Bill's ability to be able to know which is his right or left can be a little bit of a challenge as well. Sometimes he's got good days with his aphasia, and there's some other times that he doesn't. And so we're really happy that we can kind of roll with our times, and because sometimes we don't have deadlines. So that's okay if we're going to get lost. There's been many times that we have done that, have gotten lost and found some new adventures and found some new places, or found a new lake or park that we didn't know existed. Or found a new place to go and have ice cream, or some bakery that we bumped into because we took the wrong turn. It's been really fun. We've enjoyed our times together, and I think that we went through that time where it was really, really difficult, and our support system folks, we really had to rely on more of them. And then as we moved more into having our own independence and being able to be on our own to travel here and there and so forth and so on, when those times would come, then we found that it might be a little bit more difficult, or we would find another way. If it was a challenge, we would then come back and talk about, okay, this is what we learned last time. If we're going to do that again this time, going out to dinner, for an example, or eating at a restaurant, or stopping off somewhere, we had to take a look at where is the handicap parking, and how close is it to the door?
Right.
Are
Strategy.
the
Yeah.
doors? Yeah, you got to think about that. Are the doors going to be heavy to open, or is there
Yeah.
a ramp to get up there, or does he
Yeah.
need to take steps to enter the establishments?
Yeah,
So there's
that can be like a obstacle, yeah, like when some places don't like cater to wheelchairs or whatnot. There's no ramp.
yeah,
That'd
yep.
be hard.
But the places that Bill has really adapted very, very well is there are some places where he knows what he can do or cannot do. And oftentimes he's the first one to say, you know what, why don't you just go on in and check this or that? Like if we're shopping and he knows that I know exactly what I have to go in and get,
Uh-huh.
I can go in and dash in and dash out. Or place the order and pick it up and take it home. We do enjoy going out, but we also have found it was more comfortable for us to be able to take out or eat at home.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're comfortable at home too, right? You got TV and the couch. You guys can just lay out, just kind of relax,
yeah,
watch a game or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, watching the games this year particularly, we had some epic moments, and so this is another milestone. We used to be able to go watching games with friends of ours at a bar, and just rooting. You know how that goes, right? Everybody in the whole
Seahawks,
bar, yeah, they're
Kraken,
just going crazy.
Huskies,
Yeah,
Mariners,
all of that.
right?
And then when the stroke happened and it stopped, we really found ourselves isolated because we weren't doing those things anymore. And so it was he and I would have our own little watch game. But this year was really great because we were able to join friends at different places. We went to this Tom's sports bar at a casino here in Richfield where we live. And that one was fun. They had all these huge big screens all the way around, and you could buy all the drinks you wanted or all that kind of stuff that you wanted to do and cheer.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, you love your sports. I mean, sports, it takes you away from the reality of life. I notice, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
watch sports. Yeah. And it's good because sometimes you just get stuck and you get all these thoughts and you do something that you love, like playing music. I know you guys love playing music, so that kind of takes you away. You guys got a lot of stuff going on where you're not going to be stuck in your pity party, as you say, Auntie. You guys always, you got hobbies, you got a lot of friends that you guys like to socialize and all that. That's healthy.
Well, we just it shows that our before the stroke lives, we were just really, really super busy culture bearer folks, the entertainment business that we were in, and event planning, and Bill being in his productions with television, and all the myriads of interests that both Bill and I had, and we had in common, and that we blended together when we got together. My personal business never really grew just on my own. And when Bill came into my life, he became my personal paparazzi and my own personal promoter and marketer. And I never ever really wanted to be really super, super busy, but Bill's not the kind of guy that would just let you not be super busy just because of his extreme need to be able to promote and market. He loves that.
Yeah.
And every moment he loved it. Every moment he could, he was always making a new promotion or a new commercial, and putting all that together and editing it and getting it together. I mean, he'd be looking at it at the hours of the night, just making sure we were ready to go. Benefited us, yes, but I'm really more of a private person that I don't care to be that busy.
Right.
But I also know that in our line of work, we just made we met lots of people. We were always networkers. We were connectors. And so our circle of friends and associates and colleagues had just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. And so wherever we go, we never have a problem meeting up with somebody for dinner, or we were always invited and still are invited to stay with family and friends all over. And so, that's part of parts of what Bill and I have a need for. We have an addiction to travel, and that's part of it, is because we get to meet people. We get to be with them. We get to sit around a bonfire and have s'mores and drink some more wine and beer or whatever we're having, and enjoy good food and enjoy the locations that we're at. We lived pretty charmed lives before Bill had a stroke. And so after his stroke, our support system continued to be there. But you also know the ones who are just fair weather friends.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But your really good friends and supporters were there for us all the time. In fact, one of my dreams is to be able to have one huge big party for all of our supporters that's helped us all our lives.
I think you might have to rent the Kraken's arena for that.
Or maybe one of those ferry boats.
Or where what's that? Where the Mariners play? I think that's where your party's gonna have to be. Rent out the whole stadium. What's that? 50,000 people? Or I don't know. Get Hawaiian music. Get you guys Lao truck.
Ooh, Lao, that sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, recovery-wise, I think that's what we were going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Bill being in his first year 6 years ago to where he is in his sixth year. Mm-hmm. It's really been great. We've learned so much about how to take care of yourself, how to handle different situations in your life.
Yeah.
Deep thinking or reflection of our own personal emotions. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, we went through the anger, why me, why this, why that, to, grieving, well, we can't do this anymore, we can't do that anymore, to, okay, acceptance, all right, okay, we can do this, we can have our lives be a little bit different, to the point of now we're wanting to give back. And giving back, Bill's awesome with that, because everybody he sees that may have just been in the earlier stages, he can actually just look at them and say, keep going, it's okay, it's worth it, don't worry about it, I know the pain is there, but just keep going. That kind of encouragement has been great. I mean, he's able to, even with me now, he's able to take a look at all that we're doing, and he can stop and go, I know that you're doing this and this and this, and that your life has just been crazy busy. But take some time to just have your own time. And so, since we like going to these places, we love going to waterfalls, we love going to the rivers and the waters and the mountains, it's good. We can do them together. We can do them leisurely, and we just have to make sure we have more.
Right.
More. We just have to have enough time to do what it is that we do, and then give ourselves those downtimes.
Yeah, Canty. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. So this is awesome. Thanks for episode 2. And any good things that you want to talk about? I mean, real quick, like any advice to caregivers or Uncle Bill? Any positive words you want to talk about or tell people, like who's going through what you guys went through, and how to be happy? It's okay to be happy. I think some people feel guilty or whatever, or they don't want to be happy. They're just stuck in their doom and gloom. What would you tell people?
I'll tell people, if something is minor, let it be minor. Because when you get critical or something so minimal and minuscule, it only gets you more mad. So no sense in me think about it. If it's nothing that can wait, may it wait.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
Good.
it. Yeah, make it
Real,
wait.
real simple, yeah.
There's always tomorrow, man.
Always tomorrow.
And you know
Live
what?
it, yeah.
I learned this phrase, this too shall pass.
That's it. Biblical.
Yep. And if we can just, sometimes we get so caught up in our own little things, and and especially me. I mean, I'm emotional. I mean, I'm the first one that's going to be able to show on my face whether I'm upset, or if I'm in deep thought, or if I'm sad, or if I'm happy,
Right.
or if I'm excited. So I have to remind myself, take a deep breath. 5 minutes later, it's not going to be quite as bad. But I also I have a God that I tune into a lot, and day to day. And sometimes it's just a real quick prayer. Okay, Lord, I just got to give it to you.
Yeah.
You take it because I can't do it.
It's important.
And then we're good.
Yeah. Alrighty then.
Stay positive.
Okay.
Hang out with positive energy flow.
That's right.
And you're gonna be in a good place.
Surround yourself with good
Always
people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, Ron,
Well,
for
you guys,
this
yeah.
second
The
episode.
second episode. Yeah, you guys enjoy your picnic, or is it done already? Or
Yeah.
Oh no, we're almost done.
Oh, almost
we
done.
nibble.
Okay. And you guys gotta go.
Nibble here, nibble there.
We miss you. You need to get over here.
Yeah, catch the next flight in.
Okay, that sounds
No, well, okay, Uncle Auntie, you guys take care. God bless. Until the next time, you guys enjoy your evening over there in Washington.
good. Okay.
Okay, brother.
Hui hoi.
Okay, aloha, you guys.
Bye.
Okay.
Aloha! Here we are. This is what we look like today. We've got our little Bill's chair. I call it my Uber, my own personal Uber.
Yeah.
He's got his flag, and we have his.
My
You see
king.
his cane. He's got his cane.
Yeah, right
And
there.
on the Uber, on his wheelchair, we have his little picnic cooler. And we're sitting here at the bench. This is Bill walks from the end of the beginning of the pathway to here. Look,
Yeah.
I had to look Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Thankful Thursday.
Way over there.
Got my little earring, Hawaiian earring as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, we are going to be going over to the little picnic table. It's just beyond that right there. It's just, I don't know if you can see that. It's right beyond
That way.
where Bill is pointing. It's right beyond there is our little picnic table.
Over there.
And that's our own little hideaway. We have our own little park. We have our own little pathway. We have our own little woods.
And nobody's there.
Nobody's staying.
And
It's just
standing.
ours. It's just ours. Anyways, this is just another day in the life of stroke survivor Bill and caregiver Gloria.
Yeah.
Living forward with the Nahaleans.
Yeah.
Life before and after the stroke.
All right.